Are you just out of an emotionally abusive relationship and you're trying to work out how to move on and how to heal from what you've been through? Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm a therapist based in London. I specialise in emotional abuse and trauma, and today I'm going to be taking through 5 steps of moving on from emotional abuse. So emotional abuse has a significant effect on your mental health. And even if you're not currently still in that relationship, you can feel the effects of that relationship every day. It could be that you left recently, or it could even be that you left more than 10 years ago. It's completely normal if it still affects you today. Now, logically, you probably know that you're better off without this person, but even so, you're most likely left with feelings of anger, hurt, resentment, and you've probably got a lot of anxiety and a lack of self-confidence as well. So how do you actually move on from all of this? So the first step of moving on is acknowledging what happened to you, acknowledging what you went through. What you went through was significant. With emotional abuse, it's quite common for friends and family, and sometimes even professionals, to disregard your experience and take what you went through seriously. The abuser will likely have strongly encouraged you to doubt the severity or the impact of their behaviour towards you. So the result of this would be you believe that you're the problem, or you feel that you're overreacting. This would probably also result in you downplaying what happened in your relationship and maybe even blaming yourself. Now, remind yourself that what you went through is real and you have every right to have your experience validated. The second step of recovery would be to sit with your feelings. Now, what does that mean, to sit with your feelings? When we experience painful emotions, usually the natural instinct or reaction is to push them down. You may do this by keeping busy with work or filling your calendar with socializing, or you might also do this by drinking alcohol, recreational drugs, and maybe comfort eating. Now, doing these things may help you avoid feeling the pain in the moment. However, not dealing with difficult emotions don't actually push them away. The difficult emotions are still there, but they just manifest in different ways. Studies have even shown that repressed emotions affect your immune system. So by trying to push away negative feelings, it ultimately can result in the body holding on to them even stronger. So how do you actually sit with your feelings? First of all, resist the urge to push them away, and maybe say to yourself, this is what I'm feeling right now and it's justified. I'm going to acknowledge this. This happened to me, this is what I went through, and it's okay that I feel like this. It's understandable. Also, allow yourself to release your emotions. So it could be that you want to cry. Well, I would recommend just letting that happen instead of pushing it down. Just let yourself cry and let it all out. Now, of course, this isn't always appropriate. You could be at work or at school, you could be with your children and you don't want to cry. But I would recommend carving out some space to just let everything out. And if you want to have a good cry, just do that. Another way of sitting with your feelings would be journaling. By getting something out of your mind and onto the page, it can really help you reframe how you're seeing something. It can also help you identify negative thought patterns and behaviours, triggers, and ultimately that gives you more insight into yourself. And you're left with more ideas and insight of how you can make positive changes in your life. Next of all, be kind to yourself. So this sounds incredibly simple, but people who have experienced psychologically abusive relationships are usually stuck in the cycle of being very hard on themselves. So neglecting self-kindness becomes the norm to you. You're just not used to doing that anymore. Quite often, after emotional abuse, you internalize the criticism that you received from your abusive partner. So you need to change this by, firstly, challenging your inner critic. The inner critic is that voice within you that gives you a hard time. So this voice could be telling you that you were to blame for the abuse or treatment you received. Quite often, The critical inner voices tell us that we're not good enough, we're undeserving, we need to be doing more, and it's so important to challenge this voice. Next, it would be to check in with yourself and follow your gut instinct. Abusers do a really good job at making you doubt yourself and making you feel as though your feelings are wrong. And this results in you losing the ability to follow your own gut instinct. So listening to our gut instinct is important, as it's our body's way of giving us a warning about things that maybe don't feel right. It tends to guide us into making better decisions, and it also helps with self-awareness. So I recommend taking time to become reacquainted with trusting your own feelings and your own instincts. This would help you build trust in yourself again, and you'd be able to rebuild confidence in your own decision making, finding yourself again. It's very likely that after enduring emotional abuse, you've lost a sense of who you are and you don't feel you have an identity anymore. It's unlikely that you're exactly the same person you were before you went through this abusive relationship, because it would have changed parts of you. So it's really important to rediscover yourself. Maybe spend some time reflecting. Who are you now? What are you passionate about? Who is the person that the abuser was probably suppressing? Now, of course, recovering from emotional abuse is very much a journey. It sounds cheesy, but it's true. And of course, it isn't going to happen overnight. But these 5 steps are a starting point, and you can build on these. I would recommend getting help from a professional, maybe someone that specialises in emotional abuse so they really understand it. There's also lots of books that can be really helpful. I'm going to put links below to books that I would recommend. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My email address is below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you really soon.